What does failure look like in real estate? Everyone has experienced some type of failure. Picking the wrong agent is your fastest, quickest way to failure on the front end and on the back end. I would call real estate agents the quarterback to get you through a purchase in another state, whether you're buying a rental or you're purchasing a house for yourself. In this video, I'm going to go through, when you're picking a real estate agent, things that I would highly recommend you use and track and pay attention to find that realtor. Let's go. Call me old school. You can do online searches about people. You can look at reviews, and you can still be treated like crap or have a bad experience with the business. So you can do all of that research. You can call references. You can do all of the right things and still have a bad experience with someone. This is risk mitigation, right? You're trying to just eliminate the possibility of that bad experience, because if you don't do any of that, your odds are even better at having a bad experience, right? I would argue that in real estate, an agent communicates, and that communication is what makes a transaction feel good or feel bad. But the transaction might have been a success. The property that is purchased for the person's goals, for your goals that you're buying, could have been a failure. So that real estate agent, when you talk to them, one of the first things that you need to ask is, how much do you communicate? How much do you know about the property type that I am buying? And then shut up. Don't tell them what you're looking for, maybe a little bit, but have them ask you questions. Yes, you want to come with a list of questions for them, but they should be inquisitive, because otherwise they're just going to be a yes man, yes woman. What they're going to do is you're going to say, I want a 3-bed, 2-bath in the 50315 zip code. And they're going to say, yep, I'm an expert. I just sold one last week. They might have. Does that make them an expert? Nope. If you're buying a rental property, every agent will tell you they know how to do rentals. They have investor clients. They just sold rentals. I hear it every day. But in reality, rentals can mean something different to different investors. You as the consumer, when you're trying to find an agent, you need to ask them exact numbers or examples, or look at properties and get their feedback on those properties. Figure out how many investment properties have they sold this year. And what is an investment property to that agent? Is it a rental? Is it a flip? Is it help someone buy a crappy house, watch them rehab it, and then rent it out and then refinance? Which that investor really only found them the crappy house, right? That's called a BRRRR. Is it a commercial property? Is it a multifamily property? Is it a lease? All of that could be an investment. So when someone says, yeah, I need an investor-friendly agent, or I need an agent, and the agent says that they're investor-friendly and they know how to work with investors, what does that mean? And it's up to you to inquire, to quiz, to learn more, to ask more. So I'd encourage you, go through that. Ask them that. Ask those questions. Have them share with you their opinion. Might even be a good one to, when you're on the phone with them, say, hey, if you were buying in Alabama, what would you do to find an agent? They'll give you a good idea. Another thing that you can do is find out a couple of the top in brokers or real estate agencies in an area. Call the front desk and say, who in your office really knows luxury? Who in your office really knows investment properties? Who in your office really knows Waukee, Iowa, right? A specific place that you know you want to move. As crazy as it sounds, one agent is always a pop up into someone's head. Whether it's, the most popular agent or just someone that lives in Waukee, is an agent, knows the market really well, but isn't well advertised. They might be your perfect best agent, right? That is a way to do it. I would also look at the sales that agent has had. Sales don't mean everything. Awards don't mean everything when it comes to real estate agents, but it's a good indicator. It's a piece of the puzzle. Like last year, I sold $12 million in real estate, right? One of those transactions was a $2.2 million apartment complex. That was one bang, one shot, a couple $1 million. If you take that one away, I'd be at 10 million, still good, but you can see how the data can be skewed. Now, I also sold 57 properties, right? So I sold a couple $50,000 properties. So it all kind of washes out sometimes, but you need that agent that fits what you're looking for and has the experience that can negotiate that contract, can do that. And if they've only done 10 transactions per year, how many times have they negotiated? Now, if they've been in the business 10 years, that's different. But if they're a new agent and maybe they sold $15 million last year, but they only did 10 transactions, they've only negotiated 10 times. They've only walked that buyer through closing 10 times. I don't know. I'd like someone that has done a lot of transactions, in my opinion. One thing I wouldn't do is when you find that property and you haven't spoken with an agent in the area, calling the agent that listed the property, I wouldn't do that. And the reasons are that agent is working for the seller. Now, they may be paid by the seller, and if you worked with them, they would be paid double, but they're still working with the seller. Now, you can sign a dual agency, and they can say that they're fiduciarily working for you as the buyer and equally as the seller. But when negotiations happen, I think they're going to be a little more prone to work with the seller because that was their initial client than you, the buyer. Now, there's pros and cons of that. I've heard people using it in different ways. I would not use the listing agent as the representation for the buyer if I was an out-of-state buyer and trying to buy a property. Go do your research, find an agent. If you're looking for properties in an area and you're out of state and you haven't found an agent yet, find an agent before you find the property. It'll make your life much, much more simple. I'll give you the pros and cons, the do's and don'ts of what you should do in that area. Absolutely, find an agent, commit to an agent before you find the property or you're ready to find the property. So to sum this up, finding an agent, building a team, it's all very important to buy, what to do when you're buying out of state or in another state. I would argue agent is probably going to be your quarterback. You're going to need a property manager if you're buying an investment. You're going to need a loan officer that is familiar with how you are using financing, whether it's commercial, residential, whatever. And you're going to need a contractor. Contractors are very tough right now. You're going to have to get many, many names from many people. So use your property manager, use your realtor to find contractors that can give you work estimates. Now, if you're just buying something that doesn't need any work estimate, not that big a deal. But if you are putting any work into it, you're going to need to build relationships with contractors. This video was all about finding an agent. That agent, a good one, they'll have a Rolodex. Here's your lenders, here's property managers, here's contractors. It's up to you to vet them, but that's who I would recommend, right? A good agent will be able to do that real quick. So if you like this video, and you're like, okay, Des Moines might be a place that I want to invest. Whether it's with you, Darson, or not, I don't know yet. But if Des Moines is a place that you're looking to invest, watch this video that I wrote up and recorded on different areas of Des Moines where you should or should not invest and how it can affect you. So click on those. Till next time, my name is Darson Grantham. I'm a real estate agent and investor here in Des Moines, Iowa. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thanks. Bye.